Welcome to Real Estate Coaching Radio, starring award-winning real estate coaches and #1 international best-selling authors, Tim and Julie Harris. This is the #1 daily radio show for realtors looking for a no BS, authentic, real-time coaching experience. What's really working in today's market, how to generate more leads, make more money, and have more time for what you love in your life. And now your hosts, Tim and Julie Harris.
3, 2, 1, and we're back. And Julie, it is, most importantly, Car Week here in Monterey, California.
Yes, Wednesday, August 11th.
And all the auctions start today.
Yes.
And we had a lot of fun yesterday when we were down at Carmel by the Sea. Those of you guys who are not into cars, forgive me.
Too bad for you.
Too bad for you. That's right. This is Car Week here in Monterey, California, as we continue on our Harris U.S. tour. And today is day 24, 25, 29, 32.
You're so far behind. 36.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Jeez, I'm losing weeks.
I think maybe even more than that. Might be 37, somewhere in there.
Right. And this is going to be our 60-day, 22-state U.S. tour. And this week is obviously in Central California, really kind of almost sort of Central California, north of LA, about 3 hours. And Monterey Peninsula, a beautiful, very misty, foggy, almost mystical place in California. Those of you who've never been up here, you definitely want to check it out. And one of our favorite places that we're going to go before we leave, we can't forget this either.
Yes.
Because we have to go to Point Lobos.
Oh, yeah.
The national park.
It's so awesome.
Which it might be a state park, but which is incredible. And then down to Big Sur.
Maybe that's where we'll play with our Puerto Rican friends tomorrow.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
we have
kids
some more,
like that.
We have some more friends that are coming in from Puerto Rico, and or some of them actually already are here. That would be great, Point Lobos. And
Yes.
here's an advanced travel tip, since this is a travel podcast, but mostly a real estate coaching podcast, thus the name, is if you are ever in the Monterey Peninsula, Big Sur area, go to Point Lobos. Again, I think it's a state park, but who cares? You can find it. And we got this tip from one of the rangers the first time we went there, which was years and years and years ago. The last parking lot, you want to head towards the last parking lot and then go on the trail walk that's in the last parking lot, because that takes you along the coast and you see and hear the most magical things. I remember the first time, now this is again a long time ago, when Julie and I were walking on that very same path after having gotten that tip from the ranger for the first time. And we started hearing off into the distance. Now, this is really, really thick fog, really, really thick. Just you couldn't really see maybe, but it's like you're walking in a cloud. You guys can visualize that. Some of you have done, hiked before and things like that, know what I'm talking about. But then we heard this very, very strange, almost, surreal noise that was just barely making its way through the fog. And it and we didn't know what the hell it was. And the sounds would occasionally be in different octaves and different levels of intensity. And I mean, remember, we're just at the end of the day dumb kids from Ohio.
So how would we know?
So how would we? All right. And so we didn't realize that not only were they're sea lions, weren't they?
Sea lions. There's also otters there, but Point Lobos means wolves,
right,
in Spanish. So, I think it was named a long time ago, and probably other people didn't know what those noises were. And there's a lot of streets around here named Lobos. There's the Lobos Inn as well. But yeah, then we go and hike over this cliff, and you look down, and there's otters and sea lions and all kinds of really cool animals.
It's
really otherworldly, though.
It was, and it does look like something from one of Zoe's kids cartoon type things.
Or Game of Thrones too. A little bit.
Totally.
I mean, there's moss that's pink and orange and green and all things that I know I've never seen them anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of people. We've never been there when they're in that particular section of this park. When even during Car Week, when there's a gazillion people here, we've never been on that walk where we're tripping over people constantly. So definitely consider that if you're in this area. That is your advanced travel tip. And also another place, depending on whether you have the budget for it, there's a couple of interesting places. There's a place called Post Ranch. Now that's on the expensive side, but basically across the street from Post Ranch is called, do you remember?
I think it's Ventana or
Ventana,
Ventanas,
that's right.
like that.
And then down the way is this old sort of, it's actually a very beautiful hippie commune type situation.
Still to this day.
Right. It's called Essalon. You can buy a day pass and you can buy lunch there, and there's people doing all kinds of, I don't know what you describe it as, but in essence, it is
beautiful there.
It's where people check out of reality and hang out. They're not doing illicit drugs or anything like that, but there's a lot of meditation, yoga, and you see all kinds of interesting things there. But the reason it's worth going, exactly what Julie just said, is there's this garden that's in the center of the whole thing, and of course it's a communal garden, given that this is basically a fancy hippie commune, and the garden is without a doubt with the light breaking through with the fog. Again, you can see the ocean in the distance. It is one of the most beautiful things that we've ever seen in our lives. So again, there's 3 advanced travel tips.
Yes.
If you are not into cars and don't want to be here during Car Week, definitely check out those 3 places. And you can go to Post Ranch even if you're not staying there. Just tell them you're going there for lunch. Call ahead and get a reservation. And the restaurant is amazing. Matter of fact, last time Julie and I were there was all kinds of, I won't celebrity name drop, but there were all kinds of celebrities that were there or had just been there. Leonardo DiCaprio, I guess I'll drop a few names, was supposedly just there. Jodie Foster was just there. When we were there, we saw Russell Brand. If you guys remember him, he was just there. We met a gal that when we were there that was, we later found out was basically best friends with Prince Harry. You know, and she was an actress too. But anyway, just fun stuff. Again, Julie,
interesting people watching, to say the least.
And remember, if you're from LA, I realize you're probably rolling your eyes right now, listening to us in your Tesla, your Porsche Macan or whatever. But remember, we're just from Ohio, and so all that stuff will always seem a little otherworldly to us. So back to regular programming. I really appreciate the great feedback we had on the podcast yesterday. I got a lot of texts and messages. A lot of you, I think this is hilarious. Just not. It's hilarious from my perspective because I just make the mistake of assuming you guys know what coaching is, and a lot of you didn't know what coaching was, and Julie and I went into a long explanation, I think, of what coaching is or what really it should be. It's certainly, the word coaching is, I think, has become something that it's not. A lot of people who are not coaches, they're trainers or really just presenters, call themselves coaches. And I think that that definition really is important because when you're ready to progress in your business and you're done just buying info products and watching videos and just doing all that sort of passive stuff, you want to hire somebody that's going to be vested in your future, that's going to walk the path with you, that's helped a lot of other people, that has a track record of being very successful, helping people become successful in their business. And some of you asked us, well, how does one coach compare to the other? I had 3 different texts about that. So I'm going to give you 3 filters to use. I'm going to go through these relatively quick. When you're looking for a coach, not just for real estate, but anything in life, right? You're looking for a fitness coach, a financial coach, you're looking for a relationship coach, I don't know, life coach, there's all kinds of different coaches. The problem with the coaching industry in general is everybody and their brother can call themselves a coach, and they do, right? So here are the 3 filters I would suggest all of you use specifically when looking to hire a real estate coach. Number 1, or filter A, would be before when you're interviewing different coaches or even considering them, find out if they've ever had a real estate license before. You will be shocked and amazed how many people who are calling themselves real estate coaches are not real estate coaches, have never sold real estate before, probably are renting a house. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying they haven't even done a transaction for themselves. The industry is full of fake coaches, and that should be the first minimum standard that all of you set, that at the very least the person has to have sold real estate before. I'm sure all of you will agree that if you were hiring, say, for example, a tennis coach, which I will never do, that you would indeed know that you want to hire someone that maybe knows how to play tennis, knows how to pick up a racket, but most importantly, you're going to hire someone that maybe has been ranked before. It makes sense, right? Filter number 2, and this is regards to hiring a real estate coach. Have they sold over 100 homes in a year? Have they sold over 100 homes a year for 1 year? Okay, that's good. Yes, they have. Good. You found somebody who's sold real estate, had a license, and they actually sold over 100 houses per year. But that's not good enough for you if you're looking to make it so that you're going to be assured the most success the fastest. And my next 2 filters, I think, will really clarify the wheat from the chaff. And so the reason that the next filter is incredibly important, because let's say, for example, they have sold 100 houses in a year. That's fantastic. It's very rare that someone actually does that. Julie and I did it in our first year selling real estate, and every year after that for almost 10 years, between 100 and 200 homes per year. But listen, here's what matters. If they sold 100 homes per year, did they do it for at least 5 years in a row? Hell, did they even do it for 3 years in a row? And the reason I'm pointing that out as a next mandatory filter for you to consider using is because of the fact that a lot of agents could have very well just listed a subdivision or listed a new construction subdivision or listed a building in downtown Miami or wherever, and they could have easily gotten 100 listings and they could have easily sold them all, or they could have just been new construction people. That doesn't count. I mean, I'm not saying it's not work, but it doesn't count for the sake of learning how to be a really fantastic resale agent. New construction is a hell of a lot easier than if you have to go out and chase the business individually. There's no comparison. Let's just be honest.
They wouldn't have the versatility of a coach, of a broker or agent who has sold that many homes for multiple years, because it's not just the variety of types of homes, but it's also the variety of types of markets, because maybe they had kind of a bit of a seller's market, but also a little of a balanced market. They're going to have that variety. And they've got a much more broad approach so that when you go to them with a question, you're a fish out of water and you say, you know what? I'm so nervous about this listing. Can you help me? They're not going to have the answer, well, I really haven't done that type of thing.
Well, somebody who have sold 100 houses in a year, fantastic, right?
Yes.
But again, if it was all new construction, they're just there, especially in a market like this, taking orders, not so impressive.
Right.
If you haven't been belly to belly with real sellers and real buyers out in the marketplace.
And competing.
That's the main thing. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for someone who's built their business off something more than, centers of influence and past clients, right? You're looking for somebody who's built their business off more things than just, for example, buying leads. You're looking for someone that's actually built a sustainable business. 1 year can be an aberration. 5 years is not. 5 years is somebody who's intentional, that's at least knowing how to build a business and keep it flowing. 5 years in a row of selling over 100 houses per year is someone who's got their act together. That's what you look for. But the last filter, so you've got someone that's passed the first 3 filters, and the last filter, I promise you, not hardly any of them will. Just because you're good at selling real estate doesn't mean you're good at showing other people how to sell real estate. And I cannot make this any more clear to you than just what I just said, but I'll try. It is a hell of a lot harder coaching agents, learning to be a good real estate coach, than it ever was learning how to be a great real estate agent. Learning how to be a great real estate agent, learning how to be a proactive lead generator, great at, listings, the whole 9 yards, building a real estate team, building a real estate business, the whole thing is easy compared to building and knowing how to help other agents accomplish the same level of success. It takes a completely different skill set. So just because you're good at selling real estate, even good at selling a real estate business or building a real estate business, does not mean you can help other people to do it. I'm not saying that person doesn't have value. They do, obviously, but they're not what you're looking for if you're really wanting to ascend. To find somebody who's actually had a real estate license, sold, number 1, sold over 100 houses per year, number 2, sold over 100 houses per year for 5 years in a row, number 3, and then, are you ready for it, has had, number 4, the last filter, and the most important filter, has had over 10,000 one-on-one coaching calls. Now, let me even make this even a little bit more refined for you, where they've been paid, because I've seen other people who have listened to Julie and I go on this 4-filter rant before, and that have tried to game it by saying, I've done YouTube videos, and my YouTube videos get 3,000 views every... No, that is not the same damn thing. Stop lying. Doing training on a video is fantastic. You are providing value, but it is not coaching. And remember, the difference between coaching and training is significant. When you go to a classroom or watch a video, you're being trained. When you sit down with a counselor, or a actual, what's the word? Tutor, thank you. When you sit down with a tutor or someone that's going to sit with you and watch your every move and watch your every mistake and watch your every accomplishment and be able to enhance where you're, essentially build your strengths and fix your weaknesses, that's not something that's going to happen from somebody lecturing at you or you from watching a video. That's called coaching. Right?
Big
so
difference.
The last rule is someone's had to have had at least 10,000 paid one-on-one coaching calls. Why paid? Because again, there's a lot of people out there that will claim to have a lot of experience, but your experience is not worth the same as if the marketplace and agents were willing to pay you for your experience. Standing in front of the camera or standing in front of a classroom or standing in front of an audience does not mean that you qualify for the 10,000 hour rule, or I call it the 10,000 coaching call rule.
Paid coaching call rule.
Call rule.
Because if you're no good at it and you're not getting results, the market will not pay for that.
Right. I mean,
you would have washed up. You would have been gone.
You're a speaker when you stand in front of people and you say something. You're a professional speaker when you get paid for doing it. There's differences that when you do introduce commerce to the conversation makes it different. If the marketplace is willing to pay you for a long period of time, lots and lots of money for the service you're providing, and the same is exactly true for all of you in your real estate businesses, right? That is telling you that that person probably is delivering something of value. Otherwise, that many people for that long period of time wouldn't have been willing to pay for it. So hopefully that makes sense to you. And that is the reason why in our coaching program, when you join Premier Coaching, you get a daily semi-private coaching call. Now, in addition to that, if you have any questions and if you have any problems, if you have any challenges, you can then request a direct one-on-one coaching call, and it doesn't cost you any extra. And we have 24-hour coaching on demand. We have all kinds of enhanced services. We, in our the way we look at it is we're partnering with you in your real estate business. And as your partner, we want to assure that you're going to be successful, and we are leaving nothing on the field. We're going to play to the maximum of our ability. It's not just obviously Julie and I. Julie and I have a relatively large coaching business. We have over a dozen coaches. We have coaching staff. We have different people doing different things. But at the end of the day, the experience you have as an individual real estate practitioner is what matters the most to us. And what we're looking for and what we have created for you is overwhelming value. So when you join our coaching program, you're not going to be looking for anything. And if you find yourself meandering thinking, well, I'm looking for an easy button idea, chances are you're going to find somebody on one of our private Facebook groups that's already exercised that particular, flash in the pan, shiny object idea and realize that it was a waste of money and you need to get back to work doing the real work of real estate. That's what our coaching program is all about. That's our business and life philosophy, by the way, and it always comes down to learning the art and science, basically, of doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. So if you want to join our coaching program, which I know most of you will want to, we are running a promotion for it this month. Just text the word success to 47372. Text the word success to 47372. When you do, we're going to text you back a link, and you can join the coaching program. It's very simple, and you can join our coaching program. You ready for this? For around $100 a month. So just text the word success to 47372. All right, Mrs. Harris, we are on to the next point. And our topic was?
And we're talking about 10 things to make sure you don't regret in 10 years. But let's shrink that down to 10 months because that applies too.
Honestly, Julie, this topic that you wrote, which I'm looking at for the first time, and I love your points, especially the one yesterday. What was it? The 3 Bs?
This is part 3.
I know, but what were the 3 Bs? I thought, there it is. Yeah. Relying on the 3 Bs of BS for your success. That was awesome. Building a team, buying business, and building your brand. That was awesome. Yeah, but this goes in a perfect alignment with basically a lot of agents who are trialing, testing, and thinking about, well, this might work, that might work, and they're wasting their time and their money, and they're going to fail out of real estate.
It's true. And, testing and trying, you were just talking about the difference between coaching and training and that thing. Is that in business, I don't know why it seems okay to try and mess around and screw around. It's not in business,
Jules. It's in real estate.
Real estate, you're right.
Because most of the people coming to real estate have no business experience.
Yes.
And they then fall prey, frankly, and those are the words, of into people that are marketers that are just trying to sell them stuff. Yeah. Whether the stuff works or not, the marketer's job is to sell the stuff. Whether it works is not the marketer's problem.
And the agent doesn't have a good filter for, judging that, right? And I always think about, Zoe's gymnastics instructor. Mm-hmm. She's an Olympic gymnast, right? Now, why does that matter to your filter point? Because not only is she teaching Zoe how to do those moves, Zoe can watch YouTube all day long and say, hey, that backflip looks cool. I want her to be able to do what she wants to do safely, number 1, and correctly, number 2. And when I watch Eileen teach her, she's teaching a system. She's not saying, go try it out. Here's the equipment. I'll correct you if I see you screw something up. There's a huge difference. So I think that goes back to the whole trying stuff out.
And also, like when your experience with Eileen and Zoe having her as a teacher, Zoe's quick to complain. I mean, she's fast draw McGraw in the complaining, right? Yeah. Okay. And so
it's too hard.
Exactly. And Eileen's like, no.
Get
back up there and do it again. Right. Whereas you and I will just, you mostly, will jump in there and try to save her. Eileen's like, nope, it's not too hard. You're just being a little bit of a giver-upper. Go back and have at it again.
But she'll say, this is why you have to grip the bar this way.
Right.
Because if you turn your hand that way, you'll land on your head.
But most importantly, she's not giving her explanations for why she's supposed to do things. She's telling her to do it. And then through Zoe's experience, she's figuring out that that's the reason that she should have been doing it all the way along.
And see, this is the difference because she knows that system.
Exactly.
Right? That's different than somebody saying, well, I took gymnastics as a kid. I can buy some of that equipment online. I'll get it on Amazon and, I'll watch a few videos.
Well, I mean, that's what a lot of agents who basically, I sold 25 houses and everyone in my office thinks I'm great. I'm going to call myself a real estate coach.
I'll make some videos. And
exactly. But then people don't run those people. Your gymnastics gal was an Olympic gymnastics.
Yes.
And she was in
competitive too.
She was in the Olympics for how many years?
I think she went twice in the 90s.
And she was representing the United States via Puerto Rico.
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, she's like 4'8". She looks like a gymnast.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to our points. These are things to make sure that you don't regret. That way you can look back at past fill in the blank with your name and say, thanks for having that together. So point number 7, if you missed previous points, get caught up on the podcast. Point number 7, having to be right all the time, lack of flexibility, being overly rigid, not having versatility are all hazards to your income, also hazards to your reputation and to your ability to achieve your dreams. This manifests itself in so many ways in real estate, having to be right all the time. How many agents go online and brag about, oh, I turned down that listing because they wouldn't take my price? Well, you're also not making any commission because you had zero flexibility and probably didn't have the skill to have a meeting of the minds.
Again, that goes back to lack of experience, honestly.
It does.
It goes back to lack of experience and fear.
Some ego, too.
Well, fear, ego, right? I mean, it's the ego's response that manifests itself in fear, and it makes people not want to experience different things. But mostly what happens is, and this is the unfortunate truth with not just real estate, but life in general.
Yes.
People, and by the way, guys, I apologize that our audio quality is not that great. We're literally staying in a bedroom at a VRBO in Carmel by the Sea, so it is what it is.
We're padded up as much as we can be.
Right, but people get trapped into these echo chambers of life. They're surrounded by people that think the same way, act the same way, dress the same way, talk the same way, eat the same food, drive the same cars, do every single thing. And then when they get into real estate, even if it's a new business for them, their natural tendency is to want to go latch themselves into another community, another tribe, another echo chamber, and then something innate to them stops them from actually looking outside of said tribe, and they will go down with that ship. Yes. And I see it with the branding tribe, the buying leads tribe, the team tribe. I'm seeing it with all these social networking tribes and I'm going to become mayor of my town on TikTok and all this other stuff that you guys are being sold and told. And none of you are being told to do the real work of real estate, which is what we coach you to do. And so I know why you're not being told to do the real work of real estate. Number one, the other people out there for the most part have never done it themselves, so they can't tell you to do it, number one. Number two, because they can't sell you a product to follow up with it. So most of the people that are trying to get you to do these things that are tech enabled, basically, are trying to sell you the tech that you're going to need to subscribe to in order to do whatever idea that they're wanting to do. That's keeping you dependent on whatever it is that they're trying to sell. Julie and I don't do it that way. We want you to be skills-based enabled. That's where ultimately your confidence is going to come from. Our goal for you is to wake up every single day and know that no matter what's going to happen in your day, no matter what's going on in politics or the weather, you have the ability to set a pre-qualified listing appointment. You don't have to wait for the leads roulette wheel to basically land on your winning number. You don't have to wait and hope and pray that you get some email or text from a center of influence and past clients. You guys get the idea. It's insane. The idea of waiting around for business to come to you is not the way real businesses work. You have to go after the business, and real estate gives you this blessing of lots of sources of proactive lead generation, and that is the primary focus of our coaching program, is to get you guys to be proactive lead generators immediately and urgently. Remember to text the word success to 47372. Text the word success to 47372. And when you do, we'll text you back a link, and then you can join the coaching program for around $100 a month. Don't delay. You know you want to do it. You know you want to join the coaching
make
program.
your life easier. Jeez.
Yeah, this is a great time for you to end the year strong, but also build momentum into 2022, dare I say. So text the word success in 2023 and 2024. So text the word success to 47372.
Yes. So point number 8, big mistake, not setting goals. Now, a goal is a dream with an action plan. A goal is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely, or what we would call SMART goals. SMART helps you remember: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Saying that you need to earn more money next year is a dream. And, when we speak to agents, they never say, well, I want to earn less. It's always, I just want to do better. I want to make more. But saying that you need to earn more money next year is just a dream. Stating that you will save $25,000 by December 31st by adding 2 more lead generation spokes, saving 10% from every check, and closing 8 more transactions, doing it all before December 31st. Now, that's a goal. Do you see the difference? You're being distracted by the
Yes, I'm being distracted
strange
by
art in this house.
The strange art in this house. Yeah, I don't know what that picture is.
That should be in Keith and Tracy's house.
Yeah, exactly. But a goal is a dream with an action plan, and a goal has to have the specific done date, what it's going to be accomplished by. And that's the reason, by the way, when you guys text the word success to 47372, you're going to be given, it's $99, but you're going to be given our new updated version of the real estate treasure map. and you're going to be given it for free. Just go to text the word success to 47372, and you can download the fill-in-the-blank real estate treasure map, which will give you the exact step-by-step updated plan for how to set your goals, but not just set your goals, but create an action plan around it with a completion date, which goes back to the whole point of coaching, then the coaching and what we're going to train you to do. All these things have to be cohesive. The visualization is to like putting a perfectly fit glove onto your hand, right? Or something like that. You guys get the point, right? A pair of jeans that you've worn forever that always just fit into it just perfectly. That's what we want your business and your personal life to feel like. Cohesive.
But personalized to you.
Right. By the way, you can't be, in real estate, you have to be all in. And I mean, you can be part-time and be all in during scheduled hours. That we're advocates of that. But at the end of the day, when you're working in real estate, you don't want to be testing and trying and figuring things out. You want to just be doing the things that are going to get you the most results. And by most results, we mean the most customers and the most cash as fast as possible. And that starts with the mindset of being of service. But why waste time? Why would you believe that you have to create or spend a whole bunch of money over a long period of time to build some sort of mythical thing called a brand, and then maybe someday, somehow, business is going to come your way? Why do you believe that you have to put some big center of influence and past client list together and start dripping tchotchkes on them forever and ever, and then maybe someday, hopefully, business will start coming your way? Those things have a place in your business. That's the reason what we teach you to do is the lead generation wheel, spokes on the wheel analogy. But ultimately, the spokes that come first have to be the proactive spokes, or most of you, you didn't get into real estate because you're flush with cash. Most of you got into real estate because you needed more money. You wanted to have career advancement. You wanted to have control of your business, control of your cash flow, control of your time. But really, what is it resulting in? You're spending more time creating fewer and fewer results. Oh, there's a whole bunch of crows outside this window. Oh, that was just one big crow.
I'm sure that sounded scary.
Yeah, they did. Well, in any event.
Where are they? Jeez.
The crows are coming. Maybe this is a good time for us to end the podcast.
Dr. Raptor telling us it's time to get out.
The raptors have come.
Oh, no.
Well, in the meantime, guys, you have a fantastic day. Thanks for continuing to make this number one listened to podcast. You know, it's so hilarious. We get this report every morning from Chartable, I think it is, and it's telling us where our placement is in different countries. And Julie, we're number 34 in Portugal.
Hey,
in education. I know, isn't that funny?
It's all good.
I know, but it's incredible. So thank you for continuing to make this number one listened to daily podcast in at least the United States. And thank you for continuing to join Julie and I on this sojourn around the country. It has been, I think, as close to a spiritual experience for me as it was exactly what I'd hoped it would be. Running into people, talking with people, connecting with people. You know, we live in Puerto Rico and we're on an island, and during COVID, you guys think you were locked down? You were not locked down compared to what it's like living on an island in the middle of the Caribbean, okay? Trust me when I tell you, there's levels of lockdown.
We're not complaining. It's nice to be marooned in the Caribbean, but still, it's not
exactly.
like you could just go on a long drive.
No, that's right.
Run out of space.
Exactly. So we are so thankful and rejoiceful to be around all of you. We will be announcing our next stops. We are headed down to LA next. I know there's quite a few in LA that wanted to connect with us. We are very much looking forward to that. We will tell you what hotel or hotels we'll be staying at, and then we're probably going to be taking Zoe to different things and telling you when we're going to be there.
But the rest of this week, we're in the Monterey Peninsula, which includes Monterey. Let's see, we've got Carmel by the Sea, and Pacific Grove in the area. So if that's any of your stomping grounds or you're nearby, drive on over and check out the cars with us.
And you can connect with us through Instagram, Tim and Julie Harris, of course. And we are updating with lots of pictures and little videos and whatnot. So connect with us on Instagram. Or if you'd like to text me directly, it's 512-758-0206. And for those of you who are looking for a sponsor at eXp Realty, you've not chosen your sponsor yet, you're looking for someone who's going to be obviously very proactively involved in helping you at eXp Realty. Julie and I are formally applying for the job of being your eXp Realty sponsor. Feel free to text me directly at 512-758-0206. 512-758-0206. In the meantime, you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll talk with you on the show tomorrow.